Thank you. I want to share briefly my own personal story. And my story is about God's love and God's grace. I am here today because of God's great love. I was born and grew up in a rural, remote village in Ethiopia. And my father was Satan worshiper and alcoholic. He had 3 wives. And he had demonic power. He was able to bring rain and to stop rain. When he cursed people, people died immediately. But there were so many instructions that demons gave my father to obey. For example, he was required to wake up every morning at 5 o'clock and drink alcohol. And he had one big glass that must always be full with alcohol. And he would beat his wives almost every day. And he would smoke non-stop. We were not allowed, for example, to eat food prepared at home until the first big portion was taken out and given to demons just behind our house under a big coffee tree. It was so complicated, but whenever my dad missed obeying those instructions, the demons manifested themselves and they said, "You disobeyed us, we came to punish you." And immediately a child would die in our home. And as a result of that, I recently learned from my dad that I used to say 8 children died, but 12 children died from my dad's 3 wives, including 4 children from my mom. When I was born, my parents were not sure whether I would grow up or die like my siblings. And until I was 4 years of age, I was not given a name because my parents were not sure whether I would grow up. But when I reached age 4, my parents saw that I was growing and they gave me a name, Bekele. Bekele means when you sow a seed on the ground, the seed germinates. And Bekele means he is germinating. There is life, there is hope in him. That's the meaning of my name. And when I was 5 years of age, the demon said to my dad, "We want you to train your son to follow your footsteps. We want him to grow up to serve me." And I was dedicated to serve Satan at the age of 5. And as a testimony of that dedication, I was asked to begin drinking alcohol and smoking at age 5. And I was doing that. And I was going everywhere my dad went and learning from him how to serve Satan. But when I was 5 years of age, when we were living in that dark, hopeless life with no hope, we were not sure whether we would live or die the next day, God, by His grace, sent 2 angels to come and meet my dad. They came and explained to my dad what heaven is like and hell is like, and my dad tells us that the angels took him to a brief tour to heaven and hell. They showed him both places, and at the end they asked him, "Where do you want to be?" And my dad said, "I want to be in heaven." And then the angel said, "I will send 2 men, they will come and tell you how you can get into heaven." And the angel smiled at him and left. That was Wednesday night. 2 days later, Friday night, 2 men came. Those 2 men had become Christians just a week before that day, and they were illiterate people. God sent them to come and meet my dad. They came and explained about God's love through Jesus Christ, and they asked my dad to accept Jesus and to deny demons. And Friday night, my dad gave his life. My mother gave her life to Christ. And when I was 5 years of age. Then 2 days later, Sunday morning, something miraculous happened to my dad. My dad had never been to school. He was illiterate. He couldn't read or write. And he was keeping cows alongside a river. And on the ground, he finds a New Testament on the ground. And we don't know from where that New Testament had come from because everybody worshipped demons during that time in that village. And my dad picked up the book and he started to open the pages, and all of a sudden he hears a voice saying, "This is my word." And my dad decided to go and sit down under the shade of a tree, and he opened the book and he said, "God, is this your voice? If it is your voice, can you help me to read it? Because I can't read it." And immediately my dad started reading the Bible. And that afternoon, he came back home and he said, "I want the whole village to come to my place." And because he had demonic power and influence, people did whatever he asked, so the entire village came. And he stood up and he told the people, above 400 people came, and he told them what happened to him, that how two angels visited him, how two men came 2 days ago, and they told him about Jesus Christ. And he found this book today, and he could read. And you can't believe that the first text that he read from that New Testament was from 1 John chapter 5, verses 11 to 13, which says, if you have the Son of God, you have life. It's amazing. And then he asked people to deny demons and to believe in Jesus. The whole village of above 400 people came to Jesus that night. And that was 37 years ago, so you can calculate how old I am. And my dad went to be with the Lord 6 weeks ago, very, very recently. For the last 37 years, the only book my dad could read is the Bible. If you give him any other book and ask him to read to you, he cannot even show you this is A or this is B. And we ask him, Dad, the letters are the same. How can you read this book and you cannot read the other one? He says, when I open the book, that's the Bible, great light from heaven shines upon this book and my eyes could see. Brothers and sisters, we serve a great God. We serve the great God.
Bekele. Amazing story. Do you know that the witch doctor became a follower of Jesus? Because he lost all of his followers. Today, if you make a survey in his particular tribe, around 1 million people, a part of Ethiopia, 95% are followers of Jesus because of his father. Jesus is supreme. And you begin to understand the meaning of this verse. He rescued us from the domain of darkness. It's real. The Satan's world, the demonic world is real. He comes in many forms and transferred us to the kingdom of his Son, Jesus. It is real. Jesus is real. In whom we have redemption, the forgiveness of sin. My friend, some of you here have not discovered the reality of being part of God's kingdom because you have not made Jesus supreme. There may be some of you, you used to make Jesus supreme, but you are so busy with the world. Perhaps you have lost sight of the reality that Jesus is the King of Kings. I pray that today you will surrender your life and tell Jesus, I surrender my life to you. You be my King. You know why? The spirit world is real. Jesus is coming soon. If you don't make him supreme, you are going to lose everything. This one thing I know. I was just in a funeral service some time ago from a very rich family. And the truth is, you cannot bring it with you. All your trophies, all your glory, all your money, all your real estate, you cannot take it with you. But one thing you can always have with you is Jesus. Is he supreme in your life?